Massive day for the unemployed. I got that because I saw WestJet in the replies, so I had to do it just for you, WestJet. That little intro. But if you're tuning into this video, we have some new allegations about this streamer named SchrodingerLee. This is a 45-page Google Doc, so I guess we're really reading another Google Doc this time. SchrodingerLee, and I'm sure you guys may not know who he is. He's fairly big on Twitch. He almost has 1 million followers on Twitch, but 952,000 followers, Twitch partner. He is from Australia. Oh my god, he's an Aussie. His name is Lee. He is 22 years old, and what kind of games does he play? He plays a lot of Minecraft, I guess The Last of Us Part 2, Valorant, Arc Raiders. I guess he, does a lot of variety. He'll do just chatting. Okay, so he's got some variety on him. That's, interesting. But yeah, it seems like there are some allegations that, came out against him. There's this Google Doc. As of right now, SchrodingerLee has not yet responded. I waited a little bit to see if he would respond, but it doesn't seem like SchrodingerLee has responded whatsoever. So I guess we're just gonna wing this document and see what we've got. And yeah, I mean, we've got 45 pages of this, so let's get to it. No stalling, right? Introduction. My experience with SchrodingerLee. I would like to preface by saying that I have exhausted every option to resolve this matter in private. Hence, this document is being written as of January 7th, 2026. So that's 10 days ago as of the time of me recording this. Although my actions recently have shown otherwise, I have always been a private person. I take a lot of pride in the fact that within my 4 years of streaming, I had never involved myself in drama for this reason. I have contacted the police, consulted friends and family. I have taken every step to resolve this matter in private before choosing to talk publicly. I cannot continue my stay silent knowing that so much misinformation has reached my IRLs and even my family. I have been put in this uncomfortable position as a result of his actions. It is unreasonable to expect my silence out of respect for SchrodingerLee when he acted contrary to our agreement and chose to publicize our issues. He has done terrible things to me throughout our 2-year relationship that I had kept private until recently, and I've come to the difficult decision to share this document to address the misinformation that I have seen going around. SchrodingerLee is not entitled to my respect nor protection. I have tried to support him and his career, but not only was I continuously lied to and disrespected, he had also been spreading a false narrative to his audience. He has dragged innocent people's names through the mud to downplay, deflect, and divert attention from his wrongdoings, and I believe this situation has reached a point where I'd much rather deal with the public backlash than withhold the truth. As you know, a clip of SchrodingerLee surfaced on Livestream Fails on October 30th, 2025. In this clip, he talks about how he had cheated on me and photographed me in bed without consent. Okay, so I guess we are going to have to watch this clip to see the extent of this relationship. Okay, I guess we'll take a look at it. Alright, yeah, this is the live stream fails clip. We gotta watch this clip for context. I think it's important.
I want to get into super nitty gritty details and stuff like that, and I hope you guys don't bother anyone else with that as well. I think last year now, I cheated on Ari, and it hurt her a lot. But luckily, she gave me a second chance to keep things going, and it, we rebuilt some trust, and
sucks. I mean, listen, here's the thing, right? Cheating sucks, and it's not good to cheat on your partner. Don't cheat, hot take. But, at the same time, if this is the extent of the allegation, it seems like there's going to be more to this allegation, so I'm not going to immediately roll my eyes, because we see a lot of, false shit online, but, I'm not gonna roll my eyes at it, just because I have heard, and I've, peeked a little further in the document, that there is, some more stuff. But, at the same time, I'm not really gonna care too much about cheating allegations. That's something that both people have to deal with offline, and just, kind of come to terms with and deal with it however they see fit, because in reality, it's not really any of our business. It's the business of obviously the partner. It's the business of the person that they cheated on with, and obviously it's the business of the cheater themselves. So I don't really think it's any of the viewers' business to know about cheating. That doesn't make somebody a threat to society compared to, say, like a sexual assault allegation. That would be something I'm more concerned with. It seems like there might be some claims of sexual assault against SchrodingerLee, but I guess we'll find out.
This year things were going good. This year things were going good. And we still were together and everything. We still were together. Yeah. By cheating and stuff, it wasn't physical by any means. It was simply just like not simply, sorry, that sounds like fucked up. Obviously, like, it was just like trying to reconnect with an ex, sort of thing.
Ah, man. Yeah. That'll do it. It's like, here's the thing, man. Like, when you try to reconnect with an ex, the only reason why you're reconnecting with an ex is not out of love. And that's the reality, is when most people think about their ex or want to reconnect with their ex, it's not really out of love, in most cases, I notice. A lot of it is because the sex was good with your ex. Or, like, when you guys were sexual together, that it was probably, like, enjoyable to some capacity. It is what it is. I mean, like, I totally get it, but, like, also, it's not an excuse to cheat, of course. Like, that doesn't make it okay. But, at the same time, the internet doesn't necessarily need to hear about it. But, yeah, I mean, I could see why Ari, who's the accuser, would be bothered by it. Play! Come on! I hate Reddit.
So, yeah, really fucked up things I've done, obviously. Really, really fucked up things I've done. Yeah. Well, nowhere near as bad as to what I've done, like, last week. Last week. Yeah. Last week, I actually did something, like, actually criminal. Like, unironically, like, actually criminal. And I feel like it's best if it...
Oh, that's not good. He's, like, literally admitting that he fucking did something legitimately criminal. That's not good.
Just come out with it myself. Yeah, it's gonna be, like, pretty uncomfortable to hear. So obviously, if you don't want to hear this, like, I obviously, if you don't wish to support me after this, I completely understand. That's, like, completely fine. Yeah, but yeah, what other way to say this? Yeah, pretty much like, yeah. Whilst we were together, I just I guess what should we say? I guess I should just say it. You thought I couldn't fuck up more than that, but I did fuck up a lot more than that. I did fuck up a lot more than that. Yeah, but yeah. Obviously.
Well, if you did fuck up more than that, why is it making you, like, smile like that? The way he smiled like that is a little bit uncomfortable.
This is gonna be very hard for me to say, because, like, it's a huge career suicide. I know it's just a huge career suicide, obviously, but I've heard her a lot, and this is, like, the least I could do to, like, actually, like, help the situation a little bit.
Well, how would it help the situation? You're, like, gonna go, like, public with it? Is, like, the mindset that you're gonna go public with it because you actually feel guilty about it, or are you going public about it because... I'm confused at the motivation of wanting to, like, actually come forward with this information yourself.
And we're still trying to figure things out in private.
Is it possible that maybe he's trying to get ahead of the narrative before she does? I have no idea what the motivation is for this. It's still very early to tell.
But chat, so, but I just hope you guys don't mention her as much. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. Last week, whilst we were together, I did something actually criminally, like, really fucking bad. And I'm still trying to come to terms with, like, what I've done and, like, really reconcile for things. And I think talking about it on stream today is, like, me being open about it and, like, trying to, like, be open about it. But obviously it's still hard to come out with. But yeah, whilst we were, like, in bed with each other, I took like, photos of us, not of us, of her, sorry. And that's something that she was very, very, like, adamantly not okay with,
Okay, so that's not good. You took photos non-consensually while you guys were in bed. Yeah, that's not good. Non-consensually, so he's straight up admitting that portion of it. And I mean, he's literally saying this in front of stream, assumedly in front of, like, a big audience, because he's not exactly a small streamer, so why would he admit something like this is the question. Like, why is he, like, coming forward with this? I guess there's no ambiguity on whether or not the allegation is going to be true, because he's pretty much admitting it here. Why would you do this? And two, why are you coming forward with this before she does?
And it's actually criminally fucked up for me to do, because it wasn't like with her consent or anything, you know?
Yikes. Yeah, that's definitely a shit thing to admit to.
So obviously, like, actually the criminally fucked up, like, actually very, 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 very fucking bad. And I know it's, like, incredibly bad. And of course she found out, you know, and I didn't realize how bad of a thing I'd done until after I'd done it.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! I don't realize how bad of a thing I did until after I did it. No, fuck you. You got caught. Alright, like, shut up. I don't believe any of this. This is so fucking stupid. He's like saying, I didn't realize how bad it was. You fucking knew how bad it was and you got caught. This guy's an asshole. Nah, dude, this is crazy.
Obviously. Yeah.
I actually might think, like, him saying that might have revealed his, like, real intentions as to why he's actually, like, coming forward with this. He's probably saying, like, all of this to get ahead of the narrative to try to seem like the better guy than she is. I don't know, man. That's fucking shitty. Like, I didn't realize how bad it was. You knew you were doing a bad thing. You still did it, and you got caught. That's really, like, what it comes down to. You probably wouldn't even be coming forward with this if she didn't find out.
So.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, I've made some really big mistakes, and I don't want to be like, I don't want sympathy for it. I don't want, like, people to, like, think that, like, you know, I'm fucking, like, all right. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, it was probably gonna come out either way, whether from her, or someone else. But we decided that it's probably best for me to come out with things. We're still gonna try to figure out things in private. But I hope that you guys, like, if you guys go to her stream, just don't mention me. You know, I think that's the least thing that she wants to see. So yeah. So honestly, I fucked up really hard. Yeah, I fucked up really hard. We were meant to move in together. But obviously,
I mean, like, here's the reality of the situation, though. Is that, like, I don't think that he fucked up so badly to the point where he can't come back from it, admittedly. Like, I do think that there is a potential route for rehabilitation with SchrodingerLee, but, like, he definitely bullshitted the fuck out of his own narrative, like, based off of what I've heard so far. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucked up, based on what I've heard. Alright, SchrodingerLee is not off to a good start after watching that clip. That's a pretty damning clip of him admitting that. But again, I don't know if that... apparently it gets even, like, worse. So I guess we'll see. In this clip, he talks about how he had cheated on me and photographed me in bed without consent. This was the very first time any information... Okay, I don't care about the cheating as much. Like, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but, like, the cheating doesn't matter to me as much. The photographing without consent is something that I absolutely do care about. That's fucking disgusting. This was the very first time any information about our 2-year relationship was made public, despite us opposing the idea to announce or talk about our relationship during the time we were together. Ever since this clip surfaced online, I have seen streamers, friends, and random talks about the situation and have contacted almost every day with new questions and informations that I was never made aware of. Rumors spread fast, and I can no longer ignore these comments. I had not spoken in detail nor issued a formal statement for 2 months, believing that staying quiet would be the easiest way to heal. However, I have experienced nothing but anxiety ever since Lee's public confession. So you were never made a... Wait, hold on a second. You were never made aware of the clip itself? I mean, Lee says the best thing to do would be for him to come forward with it. He says that you guys agreed to it, but now you weren't aware of it? This was the first time any of our 2-year relationship was made public, despite us opposing to ever announce or talk about the relationship. Okay, I don't know, man. I'm a little confused about that narrative, but I guess we'll learn more as we go on. This document will provide an explanation of relevant events with evidence. Edit on January 14, 2026. I use the term essay interchangeably for the non-consensual filming incident throughout this document as it falls under the category of sexual violence. Fuck off. Okay. I'm sorry. No, this girl is also full of shit, too. Like, this guy is not good in the situation based off of what he admitted, but, like, using the term SA interchangeably, that's a little disproportionate. Now, that doesn't mean she's not a victim of what happened to her. Like, she's still definitely a victim of what happened to her. But, like, this would not be a form of sexual assault, just to be clear. It's still disgusting, and it's still fucking wrong what he's doing. But, like sexual assault is like actual legitimate assault. I would say sexual assault is much worse than this. Not that this isn't violating in any capacity, and not that this can't be traumatizing, so I'm not trying to invalidate that aspect of it. I guess maybe she's including that part as like a thing. Okay, I don't know, man. It's so weird. This is weird. Whatever. On October 25th, 2025, I caught my boyfriend, at the time, SchrodingerLee, filming me during sex without consent. Yikes. Not good. Not once, not twice, but on 3 separate occasions. So on 3 separate occasions, this is how you know that this guy is, like, fucking... Like, he knew what he was doing was wrong. Is that, like, he only came forward... Like, he obviously only came forward with this because the girlfriend found out, or this RE person. We have been dating since April 18, 2024, and within that time, it was established that I will never consent to sending nudes and filming during intimate acts. This was something Lee would joke about and ask many times, and I'd immediately shut down the conversation by saying, don't even joke about that. I don't ever want to be filmed, and I will never send nudes. That's a pretty firm boundary to set. This is because I had severe trauma involving a situationship who threatened to leak multiple intimate photos that were also taken without my consent. I got the police involved in this matter as well, but no action had been taken because the existence of the image could not be determined. I never spoke of the trauma to Lee during our relationship, as I had thought I had healed, and that me communicating my boundaries about not being filmed or photographed many times was enough. On this day, we spent the entire afternoon inspecting apartments together as we planned to move in together by the end of January 2026. We were both happy and excited for the future. We talked about having pets, how we would furnish our rooms, and how much further our relationship would progress once we secured a place together. We laid in bed together and watched the League of Legends World Championships until he initiated intimacy, and I reciprocated. Okay, so obviously, I know she mentioned the SA claims earlier, but this would obviously not be a form of sexual assault. Not to say that she can't revoke consent in the middle of the act, but this right here would not be a form of sexual assault. He had asked me to get into a position on top of him, facing away from him, and I obliged. However, I noticed that my peripheral vision, that he was reaching for something under my pillow. When I glanced behind me and saw that he was holding his phone with both hands, I didn't mind it, thinking that his parents or his editors had messaged him, as they were the only people he ever responds to with such urgency. I noticed him reaching for his phone repeatedly, and I immediately moved over to the side of my bed as I felt uncomfortable. I still continued to reciprocate intimacy until he was done, and as soon as I fell asleep, I looked through his phone thinking that he had filmed me without my consent and saw that my intuition was correct. Yikes. Okay. I mean, like, normally, if you, look through someone else's phone, obviously that's a sign that the relationship is probably not as secure as it should be, because you shouldn't have to look through your partner's phone behind their back. I'm not going to be too critical of her in this case about it, just to be clear. And the reason I'm not going to be too critical of her is because obviously this guy seems like a weird fucking freak that's like trying to film her without her consent very clearly. So I'm not going to be too harsh on her for that. But I think it is just interesting to point out how it seems like their relationship was already on rocky terms to begin with outside of this scenario. I think that's just important context to keep in mind. On his Samsung Galaxy S10e, I saw a 10-second video of me on top of him with my lower body fully exposed that I had taken a few minutes prior. I panicked and deleted the video because I was scared and embarrassed, but when I realized that there were 2 more videos filmed without my knowledge in the past, circled in red, I grabbed my phone to take a photo of the evidence. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. There it is. I mean, like, not that we needed evidence anyways, because, like, he basically already admitted to it. So it's not like we needed the evidence either or, but I mean, it's good that she got the evidence either way, just because. The circled videos were taken during our trip to Japan. Oh, the circled videos. Oh, okay, the trip to Japan. Okay, got it. So they were having sex on their trip to Japan. Okay, cool. The 23rd and 29th of September 2025, which means he secretly filmed me during that trip and kept it a secret until I found out a month later. He never asked for consent or even mentioned anything about filming during the entirety of 2025, and I assume this is because he knew how vehemently I opposed the idea. I shook him awake and asked him why he filmed me when he knew how much I hated the idea, and he acted confused until I played the videos to his face. His response was, "Oh shit, Ari, I didn't mean to." Yeah, okay, I didn't mean to. My ass. This guy is so full of shit. Like, the moment, like, his narrative, like, listen, just listening to his narrative, like, in that live stream fails clip, this guy is so full of shit. Like, he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize what I did was bad after she confronted me." Get the fuck out of here. You knew it was bad, like, beforehand. And I started bawling my eyes out. I asked why he would do this to me, knowing that I never consented to such an act, and why he had to fuck up so hard and ruin our relationship. He sat there silently, refusing to make eye contact as I expressed that I could not live with someone who doesn't respect my privacy and boundaries. That's reasonable. Honestly, like, in Ari's defense, this is a very valid reason to break up with somebody. If I found out that a partner was recording me naked without consent, I would fucking confront them, get that shit deleted, and I would dump them completely. Like, that's fucked. That is a massive violation of boundaries, and so that's not only a valid reason. Quite frankly, like, if you can, I would say that this guy probably should get sued, to be honest. Like, just based off of everything I've heard so far, like, this guy definitely should get sued. You know, like, and it's crazy, because even when SchrodingerLee, when we watched the original live stream fails clip, when he admitted to doing this, he actually was downplaying it, like, even then. Like, he was still saying, like, you know, I fucked up and everything. I didn't know it was that bad or whatever. Like, he still left out tons of details that they already had set these boundaries prior and that he did it, like, 3 times. He didn't even mention that part in his response. He said he only did it once, like, last week. I don't know. We can't trust SchrodingerLee's, like, retelling of these events because he's definitely not going to be honest about it. I sobbed for half an hour whilst he sat there unable to comfort me. I asked him repeatedly what he did to me. And the only answer he could give me was, "I don't know, but I promise it was only for me to see." I panicked and was scared out of my mind. I pulled out my phone saying I needed to call the police. He apologized profusely, and I felt guilty for wanting to report him. I began sobbing and put the phone down before the call went through. He repeatedly apologized, and I stated I didn't know if the police could do anything, and that if I had to take him to court, I wouldn't be able to afford it. I vividly remember expressing my intention to get the police involved. I gave up on taking legal action and will expand more on this later. After a while, I took a deep breath and told Lee that I didn't want to ruin his career despite feeling wrong. He knew that I had big plans for 2026, that I wanted to complete my master's degree, and I didn't want to let his actions affect that. When he asked me what I wanted, I asked him if he could compensate me. He was confused. I explained that our plans to move in together were no longer possible and asked if he could be able to help me financially by sending me the amount of rent that he would... Oh, Jesus Christ. This is about to get so complicated. The amount of rent he would have paid in the period we were meant to live together, 6 to 12 months. I wanted security. He knew that my lease ends in January 2026 due to his actions. I was left with limited options and a lot of financial burden. This is because my current roommate finalized plans to move in with someone else, as Lee and I planned in on moving together for a while. For context, I pay $730 a fortnight for my current place. My share of the rent was a 2-bedroom apartment, and the options Lee and I explored costed slightly more. It is common for people my age in Sydney to have multiple roommates to reduce rent costs. Well, it's common here in America as well. Maybe she doesn't know that in her defense. And living alone is something I cannot afford. I explained to him that I was worried I wouldn't be able to find a place I could afford and that I would have to return to my parents' place in rural Australia. I was worried that I might even end up homeless, as my landlord planned to evict me after my lease ended. I had exactly 2 months to find a new place and a roommate, and I believed it would be near impossible to deal with my accommodation issue alone. I shamelessly asked for money out of desperation. I didn't want my future to be affected that day. Truthfully, kind of based. Like, listen, like, Lee decided to take tons of fucking non-consensual, like, sex videos of you guys, and now you're essentially extorting him, basically. Like, that's kind of what this reads to me as, is you're essentially extorting him for as much money as you can. I kind of don't care about this, personally. Like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but she's extorting him instead of reporting him to the police. What is she doing? Like, listen, I'm not going to care too much that she's extorting him, truthfully. Because, like, this motherfucker decided to make the stupid-ass decision as a grown adult to non-consensually take videos of their sex acts together. And if she wants to get some money off of it because she has trauma with it, and she would have gotten trauma from this again had she not found out. If she wants to make some money off of it, honestly, kind of based. I really don't care. Lee said that he would compensate me for 18,000 Australian dollars, as this would be the budget that he calculated for himself when we looked at apartments together. Yep, per person, yada yada yada. He asked me to wait until his next paycheck, but I pressured him, saying that I didn't have much time. He agreed to send me the $12,000 first and the remaining $6,000 in December. We had a bittersweet yet amicable conversation about the money Lee agreed to pay me, and spoke a lot about how our relationship turned out. No blackmail. Evidence page 37. I mean, okay. You say there's no blackmail, but it does seem like you're literally flat out admitting to us that you are extorting him for money to some kind. And that's where the situation, I imagine, is going to start to get a little bit convoluted. He profusely apologized for how the relationship ended, and we reflected on the 2 years we spent together. We dragged the conversation for as long as we could because we were both in denial that our relationship was about to end. That is normal when you are about to experience a breakup. On the 26th of October 2025, I contacted the police as I was experiencing immense anxiety over the possibility that Lee had more videos of me that I wasn't aware of. The first thing I did was contact the police, my close friend Jono and Fishy Chair, who knew about my relationship with Lee. I did not speak a word about this to anyone else. I called my local police station on the 26th, a day after I found explicit videos on Lee's phone. Yeah, wow, this is insane. Like, literally, this entire situation is actually so fucking insane based off of what I'm hearing so far. I spoke to a female police officer on the phone and explained that I found explicit videos of me taken without my consent, that I didn't know what to do. She then asked me for my name and then asked me to describe any of the contents of the videos. If my face were in them / any key identifiable features, what the perpetrator's name was, and how the incident happened. I explained what was asked and mentioned that Lee never threatened to share these videos nor coerced me into anything. She told me that the severity of the situation will be investigated and that I should report this to www.esafetygov.au/reports, okay, if I ever came across these videos online. The call ended and I laid in bed sobbing, thinking that I might have overreacted and shouldn't have gone as far as calling the police. This is very normal for a lot of, like, victims of any level of sexual violence to go through. Now, to be clear, like, is this on the same level? I know this is probably not going to be the right time to have this conversation. Is this on the same level as, like, an actual sexual assault? No. There might be a route for SchrodingerLee to take rehabilitation. I'm a little tentative on that, though, because what he did was pretty fucked up. Like, I'm not going to lie. What he did was really awful. And this still could be very traumatizing for her. And she is a victim of what happened, just to be clear. Like, this guy definitely needs to not be a content creator and probably should be arrested to some capacity based off of everything I've heard so far and everything I've seen. I felt incredibly guilty that I had reported my partner of 2 years. I reached out to Lee to send him my bank information so that he could transfer $12,000 and agreed, and we spoke a little bit about how hard the situation was. Okay, I'm going to have to zoom in for this. Alright, so this was on October 26th of 2025. Blank. Take care. You too. Hope you can heal. Let me know if you need anything. I'm not okay at all, and I imagine you're not either. I'm not okay either. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry for making you cry so much. I'm not sure what to do. Neither. I miss you and I want to call you and I want to see you, but what good would that do for us? It's hard. I'm the exact same. I'm almost in denial. I'm sure you've been crying a lot, but I really had a hard time this morning. I saw a cat on Instagram Reels and just from that point onwards couldn't stop crying for a while. I miss you too, but of course I'm just not sure either what to do either. I don't think I'm good for you, and I really want you to be happy. I wish I could have supported you and made you comfortable. I haven't talked to anyone yet, but I don't want to dump things on you. I dream a lot especially about things on my mind. I'm constantly thinking about, well, you don't have to talk to anyone about it. I'll listen. So last night I really had a hard time because I sort of woke up from a nightmare, and usually that is relieved, but the nightmare isn't real, it's just a dream. And this time I didn't feel as if reality was much different. And from what I dreamt of, it made me really sad. I'm not sure what the right thing to do was. I'm happy to listen to you as well, but as you said, I don't know what this would do for us. I've never felt this affected by having someone leave my side. You want to call instead. My hands are shaking. I can't really type that much. And then they call for 15 hours. Oh my gosh. Well, very, very complicated situation that we're witnessing here. After this conversation, we had a long phone call where we decided it would be best to go no contact and focus on ourselves. But neither of us could hang up and ended up falling asleep. Hence, the call lasted 15 hours. That makes a lot of sense, actually. After the 26th, I went live on an alt Twitch account through my phone to talk about why I had not gone live since returning from TwitchCon 2025. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hope it's not like the San Diego TwitchCon 2025. Oh, God. That's, TwitchCon 2025 was such a disaster. Unless you're in the Dead by Daylight community, then you'll whitewash the fuck out of it and be like, this was a great TwitchCon, and then just ignore the fact that Emery was assaulted. That shit still irritates me to this day. But anyway, that's not a conversation for this video. This alt channel had existed for more than 6 months before the controversy was mainly used to play games with viewers, watch videos, and occasionally IRL stream. On this stream, I had expressed that I had been going through a hard time, that something terrible happened to me, and that I wouldn't be able to stream for a while. I had missed streaming, but felt too uncomfortable to stream on my main account. I continue to go live on my alt channel for 2 days, talking about random things, occasionally making analogies, and talking about scenarios that would be similar to my situation. During this stream, I never once mentioned what happened between Lee and I, but it was obvious to a frequent viewer of both of us that something had happened between us, as neither of us streamed after returning from TwitchCon. On the 29th of October 2025, 3 days after Lee and I cut contact, he spam called me on Discord, which I did not respond to, then sent me a message showing the $12,000 payment was being processed, that he wished to speak to me before presenting this money, but as I was unresponsive, he had sent me a longer message instead. SchrodingerLee, I wanted to talk before sending this money, but if you're not down to, that's okay. Blurt out. Let me know once it's gone through to you. Hi, I just want to chat with Jono. He mentioned you're waiting for me to say something. First, sorry. I was under the impression that I was meant to be waiting for you because you said you needed time to make a decision, that I wanted to respect that. I heard you've also told other people and the communities about the situation. Word has gone back to me about how much I'm hurting you, and I feel extremely regretful, of course. It's valid, of course. I know you rely on others to hear your thoughts and get things off your chest. I heard you're saying I'm trying to run away and hide, but I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm extremely regretful, and of course, I wouldn't want to throw all this under a rug because I know it's seriously hurting you and will continue to unless it comes to a conclusion you can move forward with. That would only hurt you more. Sorry if it seems that way to you. Last time we talked, I've made sure to be constantly apologetic and remorseful for what I've done. And I felt as my apologies were acknowledged because you said, I know you're sorry. Regardless, my feelings regret towards hurting you has not changed. They've only progressed more and more. I'm sorry for breaking your trust. I'm sorry for not communicating properly. And I'm sorry that I put you through so much hurt that it's truly traumatized you for your future. There's so much I want to say. And I'm sure you have a lot in your mind too. It's difficult to put into words. I really wish the best for you and want to keep on this promise by clearly asking you. Word limit, 1 second. Censored image is the payment confirmation. I'm actually unsure what he means by I heard you've also told other people in this community because the only people that knew about it were Jono and FishyShare, so maybe this was bad communication, not sure. Before this message, I was unsure of what I wanted. You know what I think, actually? I actually do want to add on to that. I think he's like, I heard that other people were talking about it. My intuition is telling me that he actually has not heard of it. Because, like, here's the thing. SchrodingerLee, we've caught him in, like, several lies, actually. Like, a couple of lies in the beginning, earlier in this document. He lied and downplayed his experience about the news. Even though he admitted it, he was still finding ways to downplay it. In this situation, he probably notices that the energy is a little bit different with people that he may be, like, interacting with, or maybe he thinks, like, he's noticing small things he's seeing that might be unrelated to the situation regarding some of his viewers. And so maybe he's just, like, trying to use that as an excuse to be like, oh, yeah, I've heard you told other people this situation. I think that's just another lie. Just so he can, you know, push and, like, say that, like, hey, that might lead into him, like, trying to admit all of this, basically, or maybe have, like, an excuse to talk about it publicly, just so he can, like, say that. I don't know. That's just my speculation and intuition. Make of that what you will. Before this message, I was unsure of what I wanted and whether I wanted to pursue legal action, if I wanted to forgive him, or whatever else. Between the time I called the police and received this message from Lee, I had not been contacted by the police and concluded that an investigation had not occurred. I'd given up on taking legal action as I did not have the financial and mental capacity to pursue a court case against him, especially after receiving an apology. I felt the same guilt I felt when I initially filed a police report 4 days prior. He then asked if I would like him to announce his wrongdoings and quit content creation for me. I didn't know how to answer his question and was unresponsive as I tried to be careful with my words. That makes sense because, like, SchrodingerLee is, like, a big content creator. And so, like, that's such a heavy question to be like, I should quit content creation. Yeah, that's, like, I don't know. That's a weird thing. Would you like me to announce what I've done and quit content creation for you? Hi, is it alright if I just type? It's okay if I could talk now? Yes. Yes to this. I think it's better for the both of us if you typed instead to this. Responding to a different message. I also heard you're scared that I might hurt you or hurt myself. Honestly, I really firmly believe I don't have either of those in me. But I do understand your reasoning why. Sorry to scare you, but I can assure you that I will be okay. I'm more worried about you. There's a lot I want to say because there's a lot I've heard and seen, unfortunately. But I understand, alright? Is everything okay? Honestly, I'm sort of concerned to the unresponsiveness right now. I'll send the rest in December. I'll do what I think is right. Thank you for trying your best in this relationship. I really try my best to do better. Honestly, I still have a lot of feelings and thoughts that I can't exactly put into words, but I really would be glad to see you do well, and I hope your study goes well if you choose to do so. I hope that you find someone that can offer you security and safety, someone you build trust in. I hope you find a nice place. I had a really good time. Sorry I didn't fully appreciate you, and I hope I can heal from the damage I've done. I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like, obviously, like, these messages strike me. Like, I wouldn't doubt that Schrodinger is probably hurt in these messages. Like, I'm sure that he has, like, a level of remorse, but also he's, like, such a piece of shit that, and he's also lied about shit before, that I wouldn't doubt that, like, some of the stuff that he's saying here is also, like, a little bit exaggerated just to try to win, like, on the off chance that he could win her over again. I wouldn't doubt it, quite frankly. The amount of remorse I have really is hard to explain, but I think it's best if we go no contact. Thank you so much. I always appreciate for what you sacrificed me. Sorry, I was in the middle of typing a response. It's long. Okay. TLDR, Lee wished for the best of me, and Lee is sending me money willingly in the hopes that I do well. He then says he would be able to send the remaining $6,000 as he believes it was the right thing to do. This was my response to Lee asking if I wanted him to quit content creation and his wrongdoings for me. And, yeah, okay. There is a Imgur leak, or link, sorry. That's okay. I'm sorry, I was really worried. I'm not sure where your head is at right now. Do you need more time? Streaming, as you know, is a big part of my income and is what's kept me afloat for the past 3 years. It's not something I can easily give up, and to be honest, I know I won't quit anytime soon, especially when I grew so fond of my community. I want to cut ties with you completely. I want to move on and heal, but it's hard when I'm associated with you everywhere I go. It's a fact that I've been an integral part of your brand between 2024 to 2025, and it's also true that whenever people see me, they think of you. You will always be brought up for as long as I stay in the streaming space. I don't think it's fair that I have to leave my source of income and community behind just to heal from the trauma you've given me. That's a reasonable thing to say. I don't think it's right that I, as the victim, have to lose more and sacrifice more to compensate. I thought that everything would be okay if I were compensated, but to be honest, the past few days, everywhere I went, every person I talked to mentioned you, and I had to continuously relive the hurt you've done to me. I want to speak out so badly about what happened just so people can stop associating you with me, so that I can continue to stay on Twitch and do what I enjoy without having to stay silent and protect you. I want to separate myself from you completely, but I can't do that unless I completely give up streaming or make a public statement pleading to no longer be associated with you, or if you came out with the truth yourself. I didn't think the last option, the implication in the document earlier says that, like, he went public about it and, like, he did it without your consent. I thought, like, that was the implication earlier, is that he went public with it and he did it when you didn't want him to. That's a little bit strange. Okay, I don't know. I didn't think that the last option was possible because you love what you do and it'll jeopardize your career. I was under the impression that you would never come forth with your wrongdoings because I saw the lack of effort in taking accountability when you cheated on me. Jonah was the only person you spoke to as I know of, and I was bitter about it because it felt like things were being swept under the rug, but I learned to no longer mind it because I thought it was a trivial thing to bring to the public because I had hope our relationship was something we could save. I kept quiet to protect you because I knew how much your career meant to you and how the smallest drama can cause friction, and also because I wanted to work. I was proud for myself for not inciting drama and keeping our relationship issues private, but your actions showed me that there wasn't much accountability on your end. I was never going to speak out about the cheating because I agreed to work things out with you, and after a few months I was hopeful. But this time, it's different. In the past, I was involved with someone who had photographed me without consent and had threatened to leak these images myself if I ended things with him. I escalated this to the police, who were quite useless because I had no evidence and because my face wasn't in them. I lived in fear and tremendous anxiety that the one day he would leak those, considering my online presence had continued to grow. And after 2 years, I had finally healed and was able to function without having to worry about it. This is why I was so adamant about not being filmed again sending nudes to each other. I didn't have to tell you about this trauma since I had healed, and me not consenting to the act was simply more than enough. You still broke my trust and crossed a boundary that I was adamant about, and I had to relive something that took years to recover from. Not only that, you committed a serious sex crime, considering that you had lied to me many times in the past about keeping things a secret from me. To find out that you had filmed me multiple times led me to believe that it was out of malicious intent. Ever since we broke up, I had immense fear and anxiety of thinking that you still had more videos of me. I couldn't rule out the possibility that you were going to leak them or use them as to blackmail me. I know that's the worst case scenario, but I couldn't give you the benefit of the doubt at all because you weren't an honest person. That is true, by the way. This guy is known for lying. I've caught him lying multiple times, like in the shit that he says earlier. Throughout the relationship, I called my local police out of fear that you still had these videos, and again, they took a statement and did nothing, despite the photo evidence of these explicit videos on your phone. You might think it's a stretch to feel this way, but again, you weren't an honest person and continue to hurt me, so I couldn't help but consider the possibility, given my past experience in the exact same situation. I was in the middle of compiling evidence of you filming me and cheating on me, and started bursting into tears because deep down, I don't want to be the one to bring this to light. My goal isn't to cancel you or ruin your career. I just want to be left alone and be independent from you. But I know that me coming to the public about it will do irreparable damage to your career. As someone who has been in a relationship with you for almost 2 years, seeing that this is something you love so much so it has brought many challenges to our relationship, and I didn't want to ruin it. I still have hope in the best for you, and I want to see you succeed, but at the same time, it's so unfair that I have to stay silent to endure the pain caused by your actions that I had no control over just because I felt bad and worry about you. I try so hard to act like everything was okay, to pretend that nothing between us when people would casually bring you up in conversation, but I couldn't. Our communities are so intertwined that people notice when things aren't good between us. I never mentioned your name when I asked my community for advice on alt streams and never specified what happened, but it was enough for them to conclude something had happened between us. This just confirmed me now. I'll never escape your name and the memories of our relationship for as long as our communities mix. I'm still thankful for the exposure you've given me. I've grown so much as a creator thanks to you, and I'll forever be grateful, even if the success is associated off you. I miss you a lot, and my heart keeps questioning whether or not I should continue this relationship. Of course I want to. This is very common, by the way, like, all this stuff. Like, it's like, there's so, like, I'm not proud of it. But, I've been in, like, a toxic relationship. I'm not proud of some of the ways I've contributed to it, because I was also I was toxic as well. But like, my ex-partner would do things that really fucking irritated the shit out of me. Like, sometimes she would say things like, you're mean to me, if I didn't want to, like, hang out with her or something. Or, like, she would try to, like, use that as, like, a way to get me to, like, hang out with her. And obviously, like, you should spend time with your partner. But it's, like, one of the things where it's, like, it would be, like, very frequent. She would use the plausible deniability of it being a joke to try to, like, communicate how she, like, actually felt. And just because, like, I wasn't in the mood to do certain things, she would say things like, you're mean to me, just to get what she wanted. And that irritated the shit out of me. And I probably didn't do a good job of communicating that. And also, like, a lot of things about our relationship was not available to the public. It's a whole deep dive. Like, I'm not proud of the ways I've contributed to it as well. I'm not saying I'm a fucking saint in it either, but, you know, relationships are fucking complicated. I totally get it. I don't really think we need to read the rest of this. I think we're okay. Like, this is just more, like, relationship issues. I think we've read a majority of the message. I think we get the idea of it. I could not give him a clear answer to his question because I couldn't find a solution that could save both our relationship and his career. So, we had a phone call to discuss. This phone call was on the 29th of October, 2025. Was unproductive and had derailed into a different topic. Lee started to accuse my friend Fishy Chair of making an elaborate plan to put him in jail after he learned about my situation when I contacted him. This later proved to be false, as he admitted to forging Discord DMs using Inspect Element. Wait, what the fuck? Lee started to make an elaborate plan. Oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening? Dude, this guy is crazy. This guy is a legitimate fucking psychopath. Oh my god. So far, like, listen, I'm more inclined to believe the girl here because even though she may have disproportionately called certain things sexual assault, which I'm not a massive fan of, she is, like, aside from that, she is far more credible than this SchrodingerLee guy is. This SchrodingerLee guy has lied several times, and now we're getting an allegation where this guy seemingly is, like, faking evidence to try to, like, push a point about slandering, like, evidence. Dude, this guy is fucking insane. We talked in circles about what we both wanted. Towards the end, I invited him over to my place to talk face to face. Sometime in the evening, Lee arrived at my house to talk about the conversation prior. He had broken down in tears apologizing to me, saying how he deeply regrets what he had done. He's done this a million times. I'm, like, at this point, I'm convinced, like, and I don't, like, you guys could say that I'm being very disproportionate, but at this point, I'm convinced that, like, fucking SchrodingerLee is just, like, crying and constantly apologizing just so he can get back in the relationship. That's one option. Or two, he's gonna do it just so she feels bad and that she won't leak this about him to ruin his career. That's what I'm thinking, because this was, like, before the live stream fails clip that we watched. I reassured him that I wouldn't be pursuing legal action and that I wanted to work towards forgiving him and healing. He pleaded with me to properly consider what I truly wanted with him and reach an agreement with him that involved saving his career. After an hour of going back and forth, after seeing him in tears and pleading with me, I concluded that I didn't wish for him to speak about this matter at all. I vividly remember telling him that as long as he was able to tell his close friends and family about what happened in our relationship, I would be more than happy for him to not publicize anything. This agreement allowed me to see whether Lee was truly capable of taking accountability, whilst encouraging him to have a support system external to me. I told Lee that he should spend the night with me to mend our relationship, and that he could live on his stream the next day and simply say that we won't be streaming together for a while. Lee, upon hearing this, burst into tears, hugged me, and thanked me for saving his career. Jesus fucking Christ. This guy is obviously, like, more concerned with his career than her at this point, based off of, like, what I'm hearing so far. This guy is fucking crazy. Like, I legitimately, like, you know, at first I thought rehabilitation is possible, and it might still be possible, but, I don't think it's disproportionate to say that this guy is, like, very manipulative in the way that he talks. Like, because it is manipulative, what he's doing here. I also told him at this time that he did not have to send me the remaining $6,000 like we agreed. I felt incredibly thankful that he was helping me with my combination already. We had already decided to continue working on this relationship because we were too attached to each other. We had spent that night doom scrolling and cuddled until we fell asleep. The next day, on the 30th of October 2025, Lee left my house to eat dinner with his parents. He had promised me before leaving that he would talk to his parents that he had cheated on me. I don't really care about as much. It's shitty, and it's definitely, like, I can see why you would feel shitty about it, but I don't really care about the cheating allegations as much. I later found out through his brother that Lee had not mentioned anything about our relationship, and they found out through our future streams. After returning home, he had gone live to talk about us. At this moment, I'm under the impression that he would not go into detail about what happened between us, but on a stream he had stated that he had done something criminal, and that he photographed in bed with me without consent and could cheat on me. I think this is the same clip, right? Yeah, it's the same confession clip that we saw on the livestream fails subreddit clip. We've already seen this clip. This is the clip that later was uploaded to the LSF Reddit page. Towards the end of this clip, he says, "We decided that it's probably for the best of me to come out with things." This is absolutely not true. He even admitted to me the next day that I specifically asked him to not, in front of his audience, evidence page 10. I fell asleep on the alt stream while watching League of Legends Worlds, and I woke up right after his confession, so I reviewed his VOD and was in shock to see that he had acted against our agreement and publicized basically everything. The people from Lee's chat hopped into mine and started asking a bunch of questions. I stated here that he emotionally cheated on me with an ex in the hope to clearing up a misunderstanding that he had physically cheated. During Lee's confession, there were surprisingly many chat messages supporting him and his mods, and advised it would be best for him to in fact delete the VOD and all clips associated with it for his own safety. I had no qualms with this. In fact, I was glad he decided to delete the VOD, as our initial agreement was to not publicize the situation. After he had deleted the VOD, I started receiving anonymous threats that didn't really bother me. We were both focused on mending our relationship. Ha 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 ha, nothing burger threat. I don't know what this fucking threat is. Should I... What? I don't know what that says. That might be a threat. It's too small to see. I can't zoom in. That's what I just wanted to... That's why I just wanted to take down the VOD, because people like this who want to use it constantly remind you. So weird. I've been getting a lot of messages as well, but it's to be expected. Sorry you have to deal with it. It's okay, because we know better. I've forgiven you. These threats useless. Doesn't bother me. But it doesn't. I won't be bothered by comments either. I just want to work on us. What you doing now? This was the day after his confession stream. We were just talking and vibing as usual. He expresses here that he just wants to work on us, and that he took down his VOD to prevent randoms from weaponizing this information. Just a few hours after this conversation, Lee went live on his alt channel to react to the FaZe Streamer Awards and talked about his most recent stream on the SchrodingerLee channel. This was when the LSF Reddit post started to gain traction, and someone in his chat had sent him the link. He then reviewed this Reddit post and began commenting on the situation. He started to reveal more about the situation than what was initially shared. Here is the VOD re-upload, but I will be using the timestamp of what is relevant to see in the document. Lee talks about the Reddit post around 42 minutes in and 24 seconds. Lee is shocked to see that his confession was clipped and shared on LSF. He was going through the comments and decided to share his perspective on what happened during the relationship. I guess we are going to have to watch that. Yeah, apparently this VOD goes on for quite a bit, so I'm going to put it on 1.25 times speed because we do have more of the document to get through. But we'll try to watch as much of this VOD as we can.
We got Luke. Where's Luke at? Luke?
Really? Why would I be on LSF? What the fuck?
Is this AI Vert or Alvert? I'm sorry, Alvert. AI Vert.
Oh my god, wow. I actually had no idea this was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he, the clip where he admits that he was filming his girlfriend without his consent, and, I mean, of course that's gonna make it on LSF, because that's an insane thing to admit to.
Oh wow, it's big. Oh wow, I didn't realize how big was that. Oh wow.
That doesn't make any sense. You literally said in the clip that it was career suicide to admit this. How did you not expect this to get big? That's an insane thing to admit to, that you were filming your girlfriend without any consent in the bedroom.
Oh wow. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize how big it was. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Damn. I didn't realize I had no idea. Yeah. I had no idea.
I don't believe him. I don't believe that he didn't think it was going to get this big. He probably wanted to play it off as if it was like nothing.
Oh
This is insane.
my god, wow, I didn't realize there's somebody about this opinion of me. Wasn't front page, really? Wow. Jesus Christ. I had no idea at all. I had no idea. I didn't even know, like, do we even read this? I didn't even think so. Do we even read this? Can't be that good to read, can it? I don't know. Yeah. That's crazy. That's very, very crazy. I had no idea. Wow, I actually didn't know that
Okay, we get it. You claim to have no idea, even though you said that it was career suicide. We get it. Now let's get to the point of this.
that was that this was a thing. Damn. I don't think Ari knows either. Yeah.
It's interesting because if you watch the original clip, he specifically says that, like, he discussed it with people involved and they basically agreed that he was supposed to come forward with it first. To some capacity, Ari might have agreed, but I think when he says Ari doesn't know, the person accusing SchrodingerLee, I'm pretty sure he's specifically talking about the fact that she was, like, I guess she doesn't know that it was big, maybe? I don't know. So that might not be a lie from him. I don't know.
Damn. I mean, it's to be expected. I never used Reddit before.
Bro, you literally just said you had no idea that it was going to get big, and now you're saying it's to be expected. What the fuck?
So obviously I had no idea this was a thing. I've never used Reddit before. Yeah. I mean, should I even read it? Should I read it? I guess we'll read it, fuck it. Why would you admit to something like this on stream and keep saying criminal? I did so because it was to take accountability for things I'd done. Yeah, because it wouldn't be right to just stay silent about it.
Okay. I mean, you knew that it was going to come out about you if you didn't come out about it first, so I am a little bit doubtful of that.
I was probably worried that his GF was going to expose him, so he's getting ahead of that to control the narrative and frame it so he looked like a remorseful guy. Yeah, I guess you can make it like that.
You're not even going to attempt to contest that point?
But yeah, I don't really know.
Why even bother reading these? Like, if you're not even going to bother contesting any of the points or at least, like, responding to anything, why even bother reading it on stream to begin with?
Why am I not surprised? I know YouTube Shorts was attention whoring Valorant. Yeah. Honestly, like, insults towards me as a content creator is, like, sort of fun. Like, I really don't mind with that. People comparing to T-Shan, that's fair. Mr. Days was just him and Unlucky. Chill. I never understand why someone give a cheater a second chance. Yeah. A lot of people were asking a little bit about this.
I don't give a shit about the cheating allegations. That, quite frankly, does not mean anything. It's not good to cheat. The filming the sexual encounters without any consent, that's the one I care about more.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about this. I don't really know if, like, this is, like, my sort of, like... Yeah, I don't really know. Should I talk about it? I'll just say, like, how, like, things were experienced on my side. But, like, pretty much... during our relationship, it was, like, heavily discussed that I shouldn't, like, reconnect with my ex at any point. And last year, there was just a couple of events where, like, obviously, it was, like, really hard for me to avoid my ex in this environment because, like, they were there as well. And there were times where, like, I would walk into the room and then immediately see them and just immediately leave. But throughout the night, I did end up having a conversation with them, and that conversation pretty much, like, broke the trust that we had. And even though, like, I had no, like, intentions of getting back with them, and I was simply just there to have a conversation, I do understand as to how that's, like, emotionally cheating.
Well, if you had no intentions of getting back with your ex, why even have the conversation to begin with? Because, like, it was clearly important enough for you guys to talk about. So if it really wasn't important for you to talk about, why even bother having it? Again, the cheating stuff really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because every time SchrodingerLee brings up some kind of a narrative, like, it just doesn't make any sense. It literally makes no sense. Everything is always a fucking excuse with him.
So I know that's not a lot of people's definition of what being a cheater is.
I guess not really, but either way, I really don't care about that allegation.
But I completely like understand and respect that like that definition of cheating should go align with the same category. So pretty much like I just like had a conversation with an ex that like shouldn't have happened because I should have been respecting my partner's conversation at the time and statement.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, like nothing physical. Like nothing really like emotional from my end. But yeah.
So why even have the I'm so confused. If there's nothing emotional, you're still having a conversation about whether or not you were or weren't cheating on your ex, and you said you were having a conversation with your ex. None of this makes any sense. This doesn't make any fucking sense to me whatsoever. My brain hurts from his narrative. It's, like, so inconsistent.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. It took a while for me to, like, come to the conclusion that, like, and, like, really come out and say, like, yeah, like, this is, like, cheating. Yeah, this is cheating. You know, I had to, like, really, like, dig deep down myself. I was like, this is cheating. But I understand as to why it is. Yeah, I understand as to why it is. I know, like, a lot of other people, like, try to convince me otherwise. But, like, I think it's sort of disrespectful to the people that, like, would consider it to. So, yeah, so, I don't know. Take that as you will. That's, like, a very simple, like, fucking, like, TLDR of the situation. But, like, that's how it is, yeah. I know a lot of people will hear that and be like, what the fuck, you're dumb as fuck. Like, because people, I had this...
Yeah, you kind of are, not gonna lie.
...conversation with other people. And I try to tell them, like, as much as I can about the situation from, like, both sides. And really, like, justify as to why, like, I count it as cheating. You know? And a lot of people try to convince me, like, you're fuck... Even my own parents, like, they try to convince me, like, you're stupid. Like, you've been brainwashed to think that you cheated on someone.
I mean, it doesn't based on what you're saying, it doesn't sound like you're cheating. I don't even know if your retelling of it is fully accurate, because, like, we know SchrodingerLee is just not exactly a very reliable narrator when it comes to his side of the story. But, like, just to be absolutely clear, like, regardless of whether or not it is or isn't cheating, it really doesn't matter. You admitted to filming your girlfriend non-consensually multiple times. She showed us proof that it happened more than once. Like, it wasn't just like a one-time thing and you got caught red-handed. You got caught red-handed after doing it like 3 times. Like, what would have happened if you didn't get caught? You would have kept doing it, inevitably. Who knows, like, if she never caught you, ever, who knows how much you would have recorded her without her consent? Who fucking knows? I'm also going to speed this up to 1.5 times speed because he just is, like, rambling on and droning on about the cheating, so...
But, like, I just don't think so. I still count it as cheating. So that's why I said, like, I cheated. You know, even though, like, emotionally it wasn't there, physically I wasn't there. Yeah, but I know, like, the term, like, cheating is, like, a lot more, like... cheated is a lot more, like... How do I say it? Incriminating. You know? But, like... I think it's all the same. Emotion.
Okay.
Like, whatever, like, just pretty much betraying your partner's trust.
I mean, it really doesn't matter, honestly. Given the allegations that you currently have, like, the cheating stuff is stuff that I'm really not concerned with.
Can be considered as cheating.
Alright, get to the part where you're actually, like, talking about the fucking non-consensually recording your girlfriend during sex. Get to that part, please, because, like, this cheating stuff really doesn't matter.
Cheating both sides is no go? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I agree as well. Yeah, sorry, right, man. Yeah, he looks like for something sexual consent. Yeah, what country must be normal, man? Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. So when he reads a comment, he like literally reads a comment. Yeah, he looks like he'd film someone with during sex without their consent. The moment he reads that, he just doesn't even bother like addressing it or talking about it, or at least giving like some level of comment. He's just like, yeah, whatever. It's like nothing to that.
Yeah, man.
Like, why even bother reading these? Like, what is this even gonna do for you if you're not even gonna talk about the more damning allegations against you?
Always got to be known, not be a piece of shit. Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't mistake that as remorse, as this wasn't guilt, it was damage control. No, I don't think so. No. I think this is like coming out of a place of like trying to like paint the worst image for me, which I understand as to why people would do that. But like honestly, I really want to try to make the show like make sure I'm taking the right steps towards like guilt and remorse, because obviously it was like affecting me quite a lot. It sounds like shit to say like affecting me, because honestly I should like like it shouldn't affect me more. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely was some level of narrative control, because like you knew that like other people who knew about it behind the scenes were going to come forward with it first before you did, so Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Damn. It's crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't think this is a mistake, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm reading Reddit posts. I know. Yeah. But I think it's, of course, if it's about me, it's interesting to like read about and stuff. Interesting. Yeah. I will say like, a lot of people have been checking up on me and making sure like I'm okay. I'm not doing anything dumb. And to that I say like, honestly, like I'm pretty mentally stable enough, and like I think I have like enough like coverage over my head to like think that I'm okay. Yeah. So like I think I'm fine. I really do think I'm fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine. So yeah.
Okay, I mean, I am not really concerned with that. I'm more concerned with, like, the actual legitimately disgusting behavior that you have enacted and whether or not you're going to deal with it effectively and actually, like, rehabilitate from it. It doesn't seem like you're really interested in it. It seems like you're still trying to, like, save your career as much as possible here under the guise of trying to take accountability. That's kind of what this whole thing reads to me as.
Yeah. I don't know. Damn, wow, I didn't realize that this was a thing. I actually had no idea this was a thing. Damn.
Yeah, I doubt that, but okay.
Top of the page with 24 hours, huh? It's pretty pretty interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, interesting is how he describes it. Great.
Yeah. But honestly, yeah, I'm gonna try my best to like just keep moving forward, keep doing my own thing, and do something bigger than what I've done before. Yeah. Like undoubtedly, like this will follow me for quite a long time. But yeah,
Okay.
this will follow me for quite a long time.
Alright, well, I mean, whose fault is that? You know, like, don't fucking record people naked non-consensually, dude. I don't know what to tell you. That's it's like really not that difficult of a rule to follow. You got caught red-handed. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Don't take Reddit too seriously. Nah, I think everyone's opinion is valid, of course. Yeah, but like not really like super valid in terms of like, yeah, people obviously like people don't really know like the full like lengths of the conversation and like.
Oh my fucking god, he's still trying to downplay it. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? If people don't know the full story of it, why didn't you fucking say it when you came out with it the first time? What the fuck is happening?
Obviously, like as much as what's happening, but yeah, I'm trying my best to yeah.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Try my best.
He's like trying to he's like reading these posts under the guise of like, hey, I'm gonna actually address this, and then he hardly fucking addresses anything, and he's like, oh, you guys don't know the full story. Okay, then why do you refuse to fucking address it then?
So yeah. That big match is kind of crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of just crazy stuff going on. Yeah. Thank you, Anzog. Yeah. Honestly, like I completely understand if people don't want to support me and stuff like that anymore. That's like completely understandable. Yeah. Boom. So Ari streamed yesterday as well? I had no idea. I don't really know. Yeah. Just an okay, gotcha. Yeah. She didn't hear you say anything, and she went ahead and said the 3 instances of you doing overthing. I think, yeah, I guess, yeah, 3, yeah. 2 or 3 instances, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, there's like a huge explanation, not like a huge explanation to that, but like, there's an explanation to that as well. But, like, I don't really know if I want to get into it, because like, it's pretty fucking daunting, that explanation, to be honest. That explanation is pretty daunting, man. That explanation is pretty daunting.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, and I honestly like I sort of want to avoid it because like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't want anything to seem like it's an excuse, you know. So yeah, damn, going live today is gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Yeah, it's confusing. You say 1 to 3, but no, yeah. Honestly, like it's not even an excuse. Yeah. But yeah, through all this, like I'm still really thankful to to hear that, what's it called? I'm trying to figure out like what I can or cannot say. I'm gonna keep working hard, and I'm gonna obviously try my best to be a little bit better as a person. Not a little bit better, a lot better, obviously. And yeah, we're just gonna keep working things out in private. Yeah, that's about it. And that's about it. And that's about
All right. I mean, I guess.
it. Ah, man. Yeah. Damn, bro. It's just gonna be pretty late. Shit's gonna be pretty lit.
Lit? Why are you saying it's gonna be lit? Is he talking about this whole Jason the Ween event that he's been like watching before he like looked at the live stream fails clip?
I feel like in this situation, like, I don't really know what the steps are. I don't really know like what the steps are to like do this, you know? Yeah.
You just said the steps. You said you were gonna figure it out offline. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
This guy's not very good at articulating himself, or he's just like fucking trying to use every narrative he can in the book.
Because like in the first place, like I wasn't even gonna like say like in the first place, like I was like Ari told me to not say any specifics in order to like save my image and stuff. But I felt as if like it wouldn't be right. So I just said everything. So like it really felt as if I was taking accountability. But yeah, I don't really know. Yeah.
Alright. Anything else I need to watch? Does he go... I guess he goes over the LSF clip again. Alright, whatever. Here's the thing, right? Like, we watched, like, a decent amount of this. We watched maybe, like... What was it? Like, around... Like... 16 minutes of this or something, or 14 minutes or whatever. I think we're going to get back to the regular Google Doc. We have a lot to get through. I think we've watched, like, a decent amount. This VOD's long. Obviously, we're not watching the entire fucking VOD. That's, like, a waste of time. And I don't even think he talks about the situation for the entire VOD anyways. So, we're going to get back to the Google Doc. We have stuff to get through. Okay, so, there's the VOD re-upload. Around here, he says, Ari told me not to say specifics. Here he admits that he had acted against our agreement and confessed on his live stream a day ago to show that he was taking accountability. I explicitly advised against this. He then speaks further about our relationship without my consent whilst trying to portray an introspective and righteous image whilst actively spitting misinformation to minimize his wrongdoings. Yeah, I got that vibe as well. It definitely seems like he's not very good when it comes to his portrayal of information. This is more of the live stream... I think I'm going to skip, like, the live stream stuff. Cheating at... I mean, I don't care about the cheating. I guess we'll briefly read the cheating. I don't really care too much about this, though, to be honest. Like, the cheating allegations really don't matter that much. Whatever. I will read through it, I guess. I might as well cover some more of my bases. We're going to skip through some of this, though, because the, fucking, VOD stuff we've already seen. Since the start of my relationship with Lee, he would always mention how both... of his exes had cheated on him. He went into detail about how it happened, why he felt disrespected, and how he was financially abused by them. Jesus Christ, you all are so, like, young, so I don't even know if I fully believe the narrative of financially being abused. Because, like, I don't know, these are the same fucking... Like, this generation is, like, it's my generation. It's the same generation that says that, like, getting a job is a form of oppression or something. So, I don't know, I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I had no reason to doubt him, as he was my boyfriend at the time, and I just believed that he was extremely unlucky to have been cheated on both times. He was very vocal about how much he hated his ex before me, Mira. He told me they lived together and always mentioned the horrible things she had done to him and caused him to leave all of his belongings behind in Canada and return back home to Australia. I later learned that all of these were lies and were a projection of his own wrongdoings. I believe their relationship ended in early 2024. During the early half of my relationship, I could not understand why he was still interacting with Mira, and she had supposedly cheated, financially abused him again. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so, in a weird way, this is fucked up. Like, normally I don't care about cheating allegations, but I think from, like, I guess Ari's perspective, it is kind of fucked up in the sense that what I'm getting at is the implication is that maybe SchrodingerLee monkey branched all the way to Ari temporarily as like a plan B option. If he could get back with Mira, he could, which is his first ex. That is pretty fucked up. It basically is just like Ari being used and not knowingly or picking up on her being used. It'd be one thing if they consensually like hooked up as like a temporary thing. That'd be like a different thing. But like Ari's under the impression that this is like a legitimate relationship. As his current partner, I communicated many times that interacting with an ex was a deal breaker for me and that I had a hard time understanding why he would even want to keep interacting with them considering their past. That is a reasonable boundary to set. I think it's honestly like if you are dating somebody new, I think it's inappropriate to interact with your ex. There's no reason you should be interacting with an ex. Like, I think that's just inappropriate. There's no reason you should even be, like, have them on the back of your mind or whatever, like, for anything. Unless you, like, work in the same place or you're forced to be in, like, the same environments or something. But aside from that, like, it's inappropriate to still be in contact with an ex. I agree. I think that's a reasonable boundary to set from Ari's perspective. He explained he was just a chill person who avoids confrontation for the sake of keeping peace, and that his uncomfortable and disrespectful, he preferred to be uncomfortable and disrespectful with me instead of confronting her. They kept interacting, though, through Twitch chat, and we had this conversation, so I confront him again. We came to an agreement that interacting with an ex specifically wronged you in the past is disrespectful. He told me he would confront Mira with a message to cut ties. I suspected that this confrontation never occurred, but Lee banned Mira in his chat, so I stopped asking about her. Lee told me he would cut contact. He then bans Mira from his alt Twitch channel. Note that this conversation was on September 10th, 2024, just 10 days before TwitchCon 2024. Mira confirmed she never received this message. Lee left Australia to attend TwitchCon 2024 between September 20th, 2024 to September 23rd, 2024, and heard that Mira would be attending as well. I had a gut feeling that he lied about the confrontation 10 days prior and asked him to try his best to not interact with her out of respect for me. I understood if some situations were unavoidable and that I just wished for him to communicate and update me throughout the day while he was overseas. Between the day he landed in the US and the first day of TwitchCon, he was communicative about what had occurred in the day. He then messages me this. He states that he doesn't plan on encountering Mira during the conversation. After the 20th, messages and updates from him slowed down. I started to get anxious, but I gave him space to enjoy his time there. I had a gut feeling there was something wrong. On the 20th of September 2024, I saw SchrodingerLee on Yugi2X's Twitch stream, as he had been invited to the OSCS house party. Mira and friends were there, and when I saw this, I immediately messaged me to ask what his plans were for there that night. He claims he was here for Santi Polgaz's podcast, which did happen, and that Mira being there was a complete coincidence. This guy's so full of shit. It was just a complete coincidence that him and his ex just so happened to be there at the same event when you're traveling from two different countries at the same, not only event, but the same fucking house party right after. Fuck out of here. Coincidence my ass that you so happen to encounter an ex there. I don't know. I crashed out hard and asked him to leave that house because I was uncomfortable. He convinced me that he really needed to stay because it would be disrespectful to Santi as he spent the entire night setting it up. At the beginning of Santi's stream, he had filmed an intro that SchrodingerLee had to cancel last minute. I genuinely felt like an asshole for preventing him from joining the podcast, so I let him go, and within that time, Mira had left. SchrodingerLee, yada yada yada. The next day, Lee was invited to the same house for the phase party. The party was shut down early, and Santi suggested doing the podcast with Jason the Ween and SchrodingerLee. I sent Lee a long apology for overreacting and making him step out of the house the night before. He accepted my apology and described the situation as a misunderstanding. He told me that Mira was at the phase party and had planned to leave soon. But how did he know about her whereabouts if he had been avoiding her like the plague like he described? I didn't worry about it. I didn't mind it too much because I didn't want to seem like a controlling girlfriend and told him not to worry about it and go have fun. Lee calls me back 5 hours after I tell him that it's okay to go back to the OSCS house. In this phone call, he laid in his hotel bed and falsely told me that Mira had begged him to have a conversation with him before he left. He claimed that he just wanted to hear her out and claimed that she was crying and apologizing for her for how she treated him in their relationship. He then told her that he was never wanted to see her again. None of this was true. Lee reassured me that I had nothing to worry about and that he missed me. He kept telling me how much he wanted to go back home and to stream and to see me. The day he returned to Australia, I picked him up at the airport. When I saw him, he kissed me and told me he missed me. He had a medical issue on the flight, and I ended up going to the emergency room with him and stayed by his side for another 4 hours. During this time, he had told me nothing much happened at TwitchCon and that everything was over. I had a gut feeling that something was wrong, but I had no reason to doubt him as I stopped seeing Mira around. On the 18th of May 2025, almost a year after, I was put into a group call in Discord with Fishy Chair and Kami. I think that's how you say their name. This was the day I found out the truth about what had truly happened at TwitchCon 2024 and the lies Lee spread around other people. Sometime in July 2024, Lee announced in Fishy Chair's house that his ex, Mira, had cheated on him with Kami. This later proved to be completely false. He also claimed his ex-girlfriend before Mira cheated on him too. Fishy Chair, Lavidaire, and Perk Gripper 223 can confirm that this conversation occurred. In this group call, Fishy Chair and Kami asked to see if what Lee said was true. Okay, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like this cheating chapter goes on for a long time. Like it sounds like he cheated on her, like based off of what I'm reading. Like it sounds like he's like making up excuses to go see Mira. It sounds to me like that there was probably cheating that occurred. That's not good. That's very shitty. And it sounds like Lee monkey branched to Ari. But I also, at the same time, don't think cheating is, like, the worst part of the allegations. I really want to, like, get to, like, the other stuff, so we're gonna move on. The fourth chapter is Abrupt Narrative Shifts, Pattern of Dishonesty and Damage Control. We were still trying to date and make our relationship work until I broke up with him on the 4th of January 2026, which is about 2 weeks earlier as of the time you're recording this. During this time, our relationship was extremely toxic and turbulent. Makes sense, you found out that he was recording you non-consensually. We would often block each other and then go on dates as if nothing happened. If it was during this time that Lee would show clear signs of sociopathy. On the 1st of November 2025, a day after Lee reacted to the LSF post on stream... Wait, that was back... Okay. Lee called me in distress. He was upset over the amount of DMs he had received regarding the situation the past few days. He told me that his favorite video editor no longer wants to work for him due to his recent controversy. Lee explained that this editor was the reason for his YouTube success and that he felt hopeless after losing him. He began to cry, talking about how he had lost his career and that there was nothing he could do. What is he fucking talking about? He literally says in the video that it's career suicide if he admits it. He publicly acknowledged that he was gonna lose his fucking career. What is he talking about? Bro, it's just like there's a constant narrative shift again and again and again with Lee. There's nothing you can say, like nothing that he says is trustworthy. Because he'll just fucking contradict it, like, in another fucking instance. I tried to comfort him by saying it's just Reddit, that people would soon forget, especially because the Miskiff drama was all over the internet during this time. Even though I stayed in that call to comfort him, he started to accuse me of ruining his career, and that the situation didn't have to turn out like this. I was confused because we agreed not to publicize it, yet he did so to show that he was taking accountability. I was taken aback by his change in attitude, especially when he had just acted remorseful and righteous on stream the day before. I brushed it off thinking that he was really upset about the negative attention he was receiving, and continued to comfort him. He stated that he didn't know if this relationship was good for him because his family hated me for ruining his career and for taking everything from him. He told me that even though his family hated my guts, he was scared to break up with me because I'd switch up on him and ruin his career further. I was hurting hearing this because I never had the intention to ruin his career and didn't do anything to warrant that worry. I even went as far as to defend him. During this call, he made several unpleasant comments, but I tried to de-escalate the situation, and he eventually calmed down. He wished to distance himself from me and cut off all of his friends, and I begged him not to isolate himself out of worry for him. He left the call to cool down and to play Arc Raiders, promising to message me when he felt better. This was me spamming cat images in an attempt to make him feel better. He messaged me later to apologize for playing Arc Raiders for too long, but I was happy that he was able to spend time with friends to distract himself from what happened. For another 2 days, Lee decided to not stream and spend time with me. We were still together. On November 12th, 2025, 11 days after his crash-out call where he accused me of ruining his career, I brought up what he said in that call. I asked him if he still felt this way about me and whether he felt trapped in this relationship due to his fear of me possibly ruining his life if he were to break up with me. He couldn't really answer my question and stayed silent, so I expressed that I was extremely hurt when he claimed that I ruined his career and that I'm staying in this relationship to take more from him and he had nothing left to give. I remember his silence and reluctance to communicate angered me. I aggressively asked him how my actions the past few days could be interpreted as wanting to ruin his life, that it made no sense for me to go out of my way to defend him and stay on call to comfort him while he repeatedly berated me. I told him that if I truly wished to ruin his career, a Google Doc would already exist. I started crying, saying that if I wanted to ruin his career, we would not be able to take we would not be talking of this, as of this moment. Jeez, I don't know why I struggled to read that. He started arguing back, claiming that I forced him to admit his wrongdoings on stream, and that I threatened to expose him myself. I didn't understand how he came to this conclusion when this is absolutely not true. I tried to remind him of the agreement that we had the night before his confession, and he profusely denied that this agreement even occurred. I believe that this is the day Lee started changing the narrative with the aim of damage control and redirecting blame. I also vividly remember asking him to remove the girlfriend content featuring me on YouTube because it was public knowledge that he essayed... Dude, okay. I'm not trying to be an asshole to Ari, and I know she clarified this earlier in the document. You should not call this essay, just to be clear. Like, that is not the correct thing to call this. It's a massive violation of your boundaries, and I'm not saying that you aren't a victim of the situation, but you should not call this situation essay. That is, like, insulting to legitimate survivors of sexual assault. It's still disgusting what happened to you. I think it's a massive violation of your boundaries, so you still are a victim of that, but, like, we should not be calling this essay, because that is, like, not the same thing as essay. It's still very wrong, though. That I was comfortable with people asking about us. He immediately shut down my request of saying that he owned the rights to these videos because he paid editors and spent time making the content, which is true in his defense, not that I particularly like him. He refused to take them down and said that it couldn't be helped that I felt uncomfortable because he had full ownership of his content. Towards the end of the argument, I asked Lee to express his thoughts because I cared about how he felt. He was still my boyfriend at this time, and I had chosen to continue this relationship. He wasn't able to communicate even while I was silently waiting, and eventually the silence frustrated me and I left the call. I asked him to put his thoughts into a message when he felt ready because I knew communication was hard for him. I told him I still wanted to sit in a call with him and just to talk about other things. He then tells me that he wants to start his live stream instead of finishing the conversation. His excuse for running away was that he wouldn't be able to talk to me properly. He had a habit of leaving mid-conversation to go stream, especially when the conversation was about his actions upsetting me. Running away mid-conversation, yeah, so he's obviously trying to avoid the conversation, so all that shit about taking accountability was, like, obvious bullshit. That we knew. Eventually, it became a deal breaker for me, so I decided to break up with him. This was the message I sent to him in the relationship. I know I haven't been reading these DMs, mainly because I don't think we need to, for the most part. I'm pretty, like, for the most part, I would say Ari is pretty credible outside of calling it, like, essay. I think that's, like, a little bit just, like, not the correct way to deal with it. I'll read what she sent to him, though. We can read it. Sorry, I can't be with someone who constantly leaves at sensitive times to go stream and completely neglect the situation at hand. If that makes you relieved and happy, then I'm happy for you, but I don't want to have to wait hours for my partner who left mid-conversation whilst I'm stuck with all this unresolved anxiety. This happened many times before, so now I really know it's how you cope, and so instead of trying to change that, I should just look for someone who doesn't do these things. Sorry for trying to make you do things in this relationship that you never wanted to do in the first place. I demanded a lot of attention and time away from streaming. I'll really try hard to get over it this time, and I hope you continue to build your career without this relationship dragging you down. Alright. I immediately opened my OBS because I planned to stream Cobblemon, which I had been grinding with some viewers the past few days. Opening OBS put my Discord in streamer mode and was the reason why I missed this call. About 10 minutes into my call on stream, my alt account, I noticed I missed Lee's call, and he tried to call him back to find out I had been blocked. I tried to call his phone. I tried to call his phone 30 times to try to get a hold of him because I knew it wasn't a good time to cut contact, knowing that he had harbored a lot of resentment towards me over misunderstanding. So just to be clear, like, I don't know, man. Like, for the most part, I am all for... Like, I'm generally on Ari's side in this situation. I generally think she's more correct in this situation. But when you call him, like, 30 times, that's, like, optically, this is going to make you look like the more insane one in this situation. I don't think she is the more insane one. You could probably chalk up her calling him, like, 30 times just as, like, a desperation thing, honestly. Like, just like a desperation to really try to talk again, even though you broke up with him. I don't know. It's like, I am confused as to why you called him 30 times, even though I think you are more correct in the situation. It is a little bit confusing. Okay. I'm very confused about that. People in my chat asked me if I was okay because I AFK'd for about 15 minutes while trying to get in contact with Lee. The chat started asking questions about past claims Lee made about our situation. I was shocked to see so many misinformed opinions and was baffled at some of the questions being asked because I never processed how far-fetched Lee's claims were from the truth. But between the time I went live to defend Lee until now at this point, approximately 3 weeks, I had not spoken on the situation despite the amount of misinformation that had circulated. During this time, streamers talked about us. Streamers on Twitch talked about us. Random parasocials would send hateful emails. Unfortunately, that's just very common. Viewers would constantly pry for information in my Twitch chat, and longtime friends would reach out to ask what happened. I ignored all of this, despite wanting to tell the truth, because I wished the best for our relationship at the time, and believed talking about it publicly would further harm both of us. On this alt stream, I stated that Lee and I were no longer talking in private, and that I had been blocked off. Everything by him. I expressed my disappointment, saying that I tried my best to resolve things in private and ended up blocked. For about 50 minutes, I went into detail about why we stopped talking, believing it was well within my right to share my experience, especially after Lee had already leaked information about our relationship in past streams. I started slowly finding out as to why, what the fuck? He started finding out. He went as far as to block me on Twitch and had a hard time processing my situation. I started crying because I got overwhelmed and didn't know how to cancel my 20-month subscription to him. It's pretty easy. You just go to your subscription settings on Twitch and you just cancel. I'm pretty sure it's the same way on any other subscription-based website. I started expressing my frustration at Lee's avoidant behavior and suggested that was the reason why we couldn't end amicably. In hindsight, this was unnecessary and inappropriate to share publicly, as it was a private relationship conflict. Who cares, honestly? Like, SchrodingerLee is a piece of shit. Like, it's, like, hard for me to feel bad for this guy. Who cares? Okay. I'm just, like, skimming ahead of this. Like, there's, like, stuff about view botting here. I guess that's lame, but I don't really care about that. Is there any other claims regarding... false claims of personal endangerment to solicit sympathy? Yeah, this guy seems like a real piece of shit, honestly. Like, this guy legitimately seems fucking crazy. Pattern of deflection. False allegations of blackmail. Let's see, there's, like, a lot of deflection. Yeah, this guy seems like a real tool to fucking date, honestly. I'll skip to chapter 7. I'll get it. I'll, like, skip to chapter 7 and maybe read the conclusion, because there's a lot of stuff here that, like, while I do think it's very shitty and it does add a level of, like, it shows a pattern of behavior from Lee, I think it's probably better if we just, like, I don't know, get to, like, some of the other stuff. And also because I feel like we've read, like, I think we've pretty much gotten a majority of the information that we needed. Like, we pretty much have, like, destroyed Lee's narrative in several different ways at this point. How long is this section? It's... do we read this? It's a lot to read. I don't know. I'll read the conclusion. To be honest with you, the reason why I'm gonna read the conclusion and just skipping straight to it is because I think we pretty much have just gotten, like, all the information that we needed from this situation. Like, I think we have enough to know that, like, SchrodingerLee is a massive piece of shit. I think that, like, there is a route where he could rehabilitate, but, like, he is... I don't think it's far-fetched to say that SchrodingerLee is very manipulative as a result of this situation. I really don't think that's disproportionate, given how he treated Ari. He kind of, like, used her and monkey branched off to her, and that's really disgusting. Given the fact that he also was, like, non-consensually, like, sharing fucking, like taking pictures of, like, nudes and stuff, and he like, constantly lies. He's just not a good person. So, I have very icky vibes, but, I'll read the conclusion, then I think we're gonna pretty much end the segment there, because like I said, I think we've pretty much gotten all the information we needed. I don't think reading the rest of this is gonna really change my opinion on SchrodingerLee. Like, I already have a pretty good idea of how much of a piece of shit he is. And also, this document's a lot to read. I'm not gonna do what I did with Cinder and read every single page of a document. I've already had to read an 1,000-page document from Cinder, and that was a massive fucking grind. Guys, go check that out if you want. And also, while we're on the topic, guys, go check out my Iconosmith TikTok. Unfortunately, my Nick Fuentes fucking clip that I critiqued, even though TikTok says you're allowed to critique controversial figures on their platform, got taken down, because fuck this platform. Yeah, it is what it is. But you guys can help by going to Iconosmith_ on my TikTok and following me there. Retweeting my TikToks would be great. Getting my self-exposure out there. I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned, so it would be nice to get on the radar. You guys can watch tons of exclusive shorts that don't normally go into my long-form content. You can watch clips about Just a Robot. You can watch this disinformation about Zoran Mamdani on Twitter and how conservatives lie about it. There's a kick prank that was very obnoxious that I reacted to. There's tons of different things. You can watch how Asmongold is pro-slavery. You can watch Peach Jars being selfish about Dan Clancy and her dislike of Dan Clancy only because of her and not because of him pretty much doing nothing about Emeru's assault at TwitchCon. So, guys, go follow Iconosmith's TikTok. Please, trying to get the TikTok up there as much as possible. If you're not already following me on TikTok, please, I would seriously appreciate it if you could. Thank you. I believe that if I had the self-respect to walk away from this relationship after recognizing how dysfunctional it became, it seems like it got very dysfunctional, I honestly would not doubt it, I would not have experienced what is written here. I also believe that I'm not wrong for giving Lee second chances. I think people deserve chances to show that they're capable of taking accountability and making positive change. This is out of hope that the people around me would do the same if I were to make a mistake. I realize now that at some point it wasn't about the chances, but denial. I was hopelessly attached to the relationship as it was my longest. I was blinded by love and continued to tolerate disrespect because I didn't have any respect for myself. Every chance I gave was in hope of seeing change, and I was convinced he was able to do so because I was attached to the idea of us rather than being grounded in reality. I truly did care about him during the time we were together. However, my compensation always came at the cost of something else. Protecting him involved sacrificing my truth, my reputation, and my right to speak about my experience. I had many emotional outbursts, often consulting my audience in light of new information rather than speaking to friends in public. I realized how immature my actions were and also caused the situation to snowball to what it is now. I wrote this document because the frequent shift in narrative started harming me in different ways. Lee being my boyfriend did not mean I had an obligation to accept being misrepresented and erased. This document wasn't written as an act of cruelty or punishment, but rather because I did not want to surrender my truth. Loving someone does not include tolerating false narratives and an inability to take accountability. I've learned a lot from this situation, and I truly hope Lee receives the help that he needs to stop hurting others and himself. TLDR, SchrodingerLee filmed me during sex without consent multiple times and got caught. That is seemingly true, based off the evidence we saw, and he also admitted it, and he just seems like a total piece of shit. He then publicized his wrongdoings despite being advised against it in an attempt to take accountability. He later realized the repercussions were much worse than he expected and started shifting the narrative. He started fabricating stories about me being in danger to divert attention away from his wrongdoings. The narrative changed every time he spoke, and when people started spotting the inconsistencies in his story, he received more criticism in a last-ditch effort to save himself. He accused me of blackmailing him. After publishing my document, multiple people have reached out to me about their experience with SchrodingerLee. This one shocked me the most. Lee did in fact cheat on me both physically and emotionally in TwitchCon 2024. To clarify, this is not Mira. A different girl reached out to me to let me know that physical cheating did occur. Wow, I mean, sounds like a real piece of shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, that's an update as of January 14th, which is 4 days ago. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, this guy is a real piece of work. Holy fuck, dude. Wow. Jesus Christ. Well. I mean, listen, I think that, like, he can rehabilitate. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's gonna be a long time before he gets to that point because, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, some of the allegations here are really disgusting. Obviously, the worst one being that he recorded his girlfriend multiple times during sex. And, like, that goes to show, like, if he was willing to do it with her, how much did he did it with, like, his ex-girlfriends? He was willing to do it multiple times with Ari. So who fucking knows how many times he was able to do it with other people? If he did it multiple times with Ari, he would be willing to do this shit to other people if he didn't get caught for it. So, yeah, I think SchrodingerLee is pretty disgusting. That's my interpretation of him. Jesus Christ.